Hey everyone, this is Ricky with Real Talk Chimp, streaming live on YouTube at Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. This guy right here, that goofy looking guy, that guy. And this is part two of the Western Saloon by Benlarky. This wooden DIY miniature house that we're working on. Model number XF25042. But we're going to continue on where we where we left off. Remember to like, comment, share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, let's hop onto YouTube here and make sure that we are live streaming and that we have audio. I do hear audio, so that is good. Cool. All right, let's get down to it. So where we left off is we were building an actual front of a log cabin here. We didn't know if any of this was going to work, but this is basically where we were at. Page 14, step 79. And we had to put all these pegs on this board, but what we couldn't figure out was that the orientation of said board shows the window on the left side, but it shows the pattern, the brown wood, also on the left side. However, the actual piece has the window on the right side with the door on the left. When we flip it around, they forgot to silk screen it. Now, technically, I could go in there and paint this. You know, I do have paint from my acrylic paint sets where I painted the blooming desert here. But I'm a little concerned. I tried to reach out to the company. They're in China. I got no response from them. But we'll just build it, and we'll, if we have to, we'll paint it, around it if we have to. All right, so we left you off right here where we connected all these little weird kind of pegs. And then I stuck a board on just after we live streamed, just to see. So that was G15 that I put right here. So we'll continue on. We'll grab G24 and G25. Okay, so G24. Here is G24. G11 was the piece that was up above, which is the thing that we're working on. This piece right here is G11. All right, so we'll pop out G24. Okay, we'll pop out was it G25? Yes, it's G25-1, which is that piece right there. Okay. Okay. Let's put that aside here. Okay, so we have to just basically press. There's the open slot. Looks like it goes onto this middle tab right here. So we're just gonna press this on if it works. Okay, very reluctant. There we go. Okay, you heard the squishing sound, so that's good. This other board, okay, so it looks like this one skips that piece there and goes straight to this piece here. So, okay, so I don't know if you can see this. It's a really small piece here. But if you look, there's a darker side on top of the wood and then a lighter side on the bottom. But also, where the orientation of where this slot is, it's down below this. So if I was to flip this around, this would be on the bottom. But according to the instructions, let's let it focus. It shows that you need the opening to be at the bottom, and that the brown part needs to go up on top. So make sure that, yeah, you've got your orientation correct before you place it on here, or it'll look funky. Because you see how the board has a split through it, and the darker part is on top, the lighter part's on the bottom. So you want to match that up. There you go. So now it should look even across, if that's the goal that they were going for, of course. So the question I'm having is, well, why did you write Red Dead Redemption 2? Because I am a Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, Red Dead Redemption 1 player, and all things Red Dead. So I found this painting of the Navajo State Park, and I had to paint it. And then when I found the saloon on Amazon, I had to buy it. So that's why I put. And then, you know, one of the viewers said, "Are you an RDR2 player?" And I said, "Absolutely." So if you go into Real Talk Chimp, you click on, I think I have 5 years of RDR2 and Red Dead Online playlists from at least 2019 all the way to 2025, I believe. I got playlists filled with videos. So that's the whole RDR2 reference. So it's not a bait and switch or anything like that. You know, there's Arthur Morgan 1/6 action figures. They even have that Colt revolver that they use. They have miniature version of that. They have a non-firing version for display. I mean, RDR2 is a huge franchise, right? So they've put out a lot of cool things for that. All right, so now it's just telling me to pull all these pieces off: 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, G25. I'm not sure what 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are, but I guess it's all in the same. Okay, so it's basically telling me to grab all those pieces, stick it on, and make this log cabin type thing. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Everything looks like it's located right in front of me here, minus these two boards have something to do with something else. They will eventually be placed on the door as the door frame, but right now we're going to take off you hoser. We're going to get G16, which is this full-size board. And I suppose we could do one at a time. So we want to connect these two here because this one goes around the window frame. So reluctantly again, a little wonky fitment. Got a little fluff up here, little flash off of the plate. Let me get my file and get rid of that. Just like plastic model kits, just because, you know, we're not using a plastic styrene, we're using these MDF plates, which is compressed cardboard, and then like this, whatever that is, I don't know, stuff. But you get burrs and you get fluff and stuff, and that's why you use your file to file off the fluff, the extra stuff that sits on it. Okay, so having a little misalignment issue, so I'm going to sand down these things a little bit here to try to get some better fitment. Some of them are wonky. Just ever so gently. Okay, so let's try this again. We're trying to Okay, the right side wants to go. There we go. Nope. Okay, I think we got that one. A little reluctant on the left side here, but there you go. And I like how they silk screened the wood on there, so it gives it like a real wood finish, and it actually has a scent, albeit chemical. It actually has a scent of like pine or some type of lumber, a fresh lumber, which is kind of neato. So it is chemical, but yeah. All right, so that was G16th, now G17th, G18, G19, and G20. Sounds like I'm setting up all the summits for all the different countries. And then G21, and G22. Okay, so now we'll just work our way around this window with these parts. Darker part towards the bottom, the line towards the top. Okay. Thank you for those little hearts. Those are super cool. And I think I can do that. Let me see. So I have my tablet open so I can, if you want to comment and chat with me, I can look at my tablet and see what's going on. And we got these little super chat things. Kind of like a Michael Contreras Knight 070. That's Michael 070 Knight. That is our moderator and my best bud that I play Red Dead with. So if you've watched any of our videos, you have seen Michael 070 Knight getting into all kinds of trouble, getting smacked by ladies, and oh, we've had some good times, haven't we? Getting into trouble. Trouble is my middle name. All right. You do not want to commit to this. Why? Okay, so let's do some filing because this one is refusing to commit. There we go. You heard the squish. If they feel wonky and they don't want to sit right, you can always glue them. Sometimes that just has to be the thing. So let's see here. Sorry, that wasn't a frame there. I apologize. You have to let me know if you can't see or hear. Sometimes I'll go silent for a little while, which is, I know, right? That was the whole purpose. And I just found another saloon. Another company built another 2-story saloon, but a thin one like your traditional book nook. And I think I may buy that one. And that one has like 1,000 pieces to it. This one has like, what, 480, is it? 450 pieces. That's much more than the previous kits that I've worked on. Usually they go like, between 150 to 300 pieces, but this one's certainly more challenging and very delicate. I've already broken multiple pieces that I've had to glue together. Or sometimes when the tabs don't cooperate, I chop them off completely. Like this one is, what happened to this one here? I keep squashing the pegs here. So that one got squashed. Does not want to go. So I'm going to drop a little glue onto this one here because it's I pressed too hard and I squashed the peg underneath here. So drop a little glue in here. Oh, a lot of glue, I guess. And we'll stick that on there. Okay. So now we'll do this here. So if you're watching the stream for the first time and you're wondering why we're not playing Red Dead Online, we kind of are. We're doing it in the form of a Red Dead puzzle. How's that? Wow, this guy really wants to be troublesome here. Those little pigs. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Let's try. I think we got that side. That side does not want to go down. There we go. Okay. So we're kind of starting it. So like I showed in the instruction manual, it shows this side being silk screened with the brown, and it shows the window on the left, the door on the right. But if I was to flip it to the inside, where the silk screening is, the door's on the left, the window's on the right, and that's clearly incorrect. So it looks like they forgot to silk screen this part here. So again, I suggested, completely up to you. Most likely this side will, no, this is going to be the front side. I would probably paint it. I would grab one of my brown paints and one of my tan paint. Just try to, just do the best you can to make it look right. In fact, they double-sided the door. Why couldn't they double-side this plate? So like I said, I tried to look up their email or anything. They don't have anything. They're in China. They're just one of these random Amazon-type places. Amazon, when you go to Amazon, you try to communicate with the retailer, and the retailer doesn't want to be communicated with. They make you go through the middle person of Amazon. You got to click on an AI button to chat, and are you having a problem with your order? And they never let you get to the point where you say, hey, you guys made a mistake here, and you silk screened this wrong. I can't talk to anybody. All they say, do you want to return it? No, I'm already halfway through the freaking kit. Why would I want to return it? I mean, I guess I could, but I'm going to lose all the money. I paid $42 for this. Okay, so we have to get the pieces that run along down here, which are these guys, these 2 through 6, according to this. Two through 6, which is right here. A little hard to see the numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll pop these critters out. We'll use our little wonky tool. You know that we're just 20 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers? It would be really nice if you hit that subscribe button. We do upload content almost daily here, sometimes on the weekends as well. Because why? Why not? I love building these kits. I love painting these pictures. I'm only going to be playing a video game for the last time at 5. And I will be uninstalling that video game and waiting for GTA 6 and anything else sassy that happens to come out. So I wanted to get the 007 game. I pre-ordered it. Then I watched all the pros playing it, and it just looked like Hitman Absolution reskinned, and I was very disappointed, so I got my pre-order money back. I seen the Call of Duty 2019 remake, Call of Duty 4 remake, coming out in October, and I'm just not into that. There's like 5,000 Call of Duty games. They're all just same shit, different theater. Okay, so we are having a massive problem with this critter. So we're going to shave him down a little bit. We're going to just do it to the rest. I don't understand. We'll try another piece in that spot. I know they're numbered. Nope. These parts have a lot of chemicals on them. They're all treated, and they're hitting my soul and making me cough. So I don't have any. Okay, this one's busted. That one got broken. All right, let's get a tweezers. So the problem is I'm pressing too hard, and it's breaking these things. So So I'm really trying to get this stuff to go in there, but it's not cooperating. So I'm going to lather it with some glue. Try it again. No. Nope, that one's not working at all. So I'm going to bust it out and just this is the crappy cardboard. It's just not making it want to go. Okay. So I busted out. So if you notice, there's two little slices of this peg that you have to put these boards on, and it's just poor quality, or not necessarily poor quality, but poor fitment. Not very good quality control. No, that one's smashed as well. Let's get rid of that one. Sorry. It's one thing that's hard for me to catch is where I'm placing the camera so that you can see it. That one actually worked. Okay, so there we go. Let's put our tool away so we don't cut off a chimpanzee finger. All right. Lee-479, maybe you can email the production company about the issue. Maybe they care enough for, I guess, a niche market of lifelong customers. Surprisingly, I may be the only purchaser. No one's left a review on this. I left a review. I gave as much as I could. I gave pictures, video. I showed parts that were not, I think, again, because you have to remember, a lot of these kits are made either in America first, and then somehow the plans get copied, and then China knocks off 1,000 different copies with their random companies. To try to find an American company or even a Japanese or German company, something that would put these kits out and have better quality control, that would be nifty. But by the way, first time here, I don't know what Red Dead is, but I love crafts and wood. This is so good. I've never seen anything like it. Like this, I thought the only made flower kit. No, man, this genre has, I hate to say the word blown up. This genre has expanded in the last, I want to say 5 years. Like, this is a miniature. This is obviously not a book nook like the other things that I've made in the past that I've live streamed or uploaded content. This would be the equivalent of like a dollhouse, I guess, but this is a miniature display. I mean, while the corral doors open up and the little doors here open up, little doors here swing open. That's about the playability that you could have with this. Now, if you had some figurines, I think they say this is like 1/12 scale, maybe. So if you had some figurines, you could display them with. Like, I want to go a step further with this. I already like the silkscreen wood, and I like the little base, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the crushed sand powder, and I'm going to glue it on here with some, cool looking cactus and stuff like that. I'm going to sculpt my own figurines and put them in here, or I'm going to just search online for 1/12 or 1/264, whatever the scale these things are. Figure these guys have got to be around G.I. Joe size, the little G.I. Joes or the little Star Wars figures. And I could take one of those figures and melt all their crap off of them and redesign it. Stick some, like, 2 gunfighters right here about to go at it, or a guy standing here, or a woman and a baby or something. You can go to town with these little kits. You don't have to just leave them stock like this. You can put whatever you want. It's pretty slick. It's pretty slick. I mean, as far as horses go, they are considered three-dimensional puzzles. So here's your horse right here. So I guess at the right angle, you know, you can get the illusion that it's a three-dimensional horse, but it really takes some imagination here. Even the longhorn here, at a certain angle, it's going to look like it's rounded and realistic. And there you got that horse sitting in with its head in the trough there. So I'm going to probably put some powdered stuff in there to make it look like horse is eating something. Eventually, when I hang this up on the wall, I'll have a shelf right underneath this picture where this will sit. So you see that background behind you. And that's going to be pretty slick, right? Right? The Shire. All right, so we have completed this mess. Some of the pieces are a little wonky. That was some flashing falling off. So that was step 81. Step 82 is we're going to build the door frame. So we need G26. Let's see, we need G26. Here's G26 times 2. So these are the door frames here. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable using your fingers to push these parts out, they have one of these little wooden, tool things that you can use, the auxiliary piece that lets you push the pieces out. Okay, so what do we need to do here? So we need to press them. Look at where the red arrows go to show you where these are going to be pressed down. I will show you that as well. So these pieces are going to go on, hopefully, not reluctantly. Let me see if I can get this to focus. But the 2 pegs there, the 2 pegs here. That's what we're hoping for. So let's see if we can do that. Not looking good for the home team. There we go. Oh yeah. That's the sound. When it's that sound, it's a good sound. It doesn't. It's a similar sound to when something's breaking, but you either get a squishy sound, or you get that clicking sound that you know that you're making connection here. Okay, we can't flip it around because that side's not painted. It has to be, but we can turn it around and see if maybe that's the top. There we go. That one snapped on. It's like an old snap-tight model kit, the plastic model kits. You know what? I've seen the Crimson. What was it? The Crimson game. I played the Black Desert. Was it the first one that came out? I played that like 5 or 6 years ago. I never live streamed it, but I played that game for a couple of years. It was it's an RPG, so it's an extremely involved game. A lot of crazy crafting, but you could go on pirate ships and fight each other in the ocean. You could swim down under the ocean and take out fish and stuff like that, and that was such an amazing game. So the Crimson Desert that's just come out, all the live streamers said that game is broken and has major problems, but I think they're doing their best to update it. The company that makes that game is great. So they will stick to their product, their IP, and they will make it better. All right, so that was step 84. I'm sorry, that was step 82. We put the G26s on. Drop down to 83, and we'll put the upper door frame above. That's 83 step. G7. So we'll come over here and we'll grab our G7, which is right here. Okay, this doesn't look like that, does it? I guess it's a rounded piece. Very hard to see it in this instructions, but it's a rounded piece. Looks like this is the correct orientation, where the circle is to the right. So again, these lines that they put on 99% of these kits Sammy, what are these lines called? Do you remember what the lines are called? I said them yesterday in part 1. I don't remember the word because my brain is broken today, but they are lines to, orientation lines, I guess, to make you line them up properly. So, oh, I see what this is. It doesn't sit flush this way. It goes upside down this way because this is going to help your door swing open. Ah, okay. So there are 2 pegs right here, and there are 2 open slots right there, and the circle goes inside the doorway here. Very reluctantly. Let's see how we're going to do this. We may have to split this thing in half to get it. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. May have to use my teeth. No, okay, so these aren't making a click, they're making a squish. So there we go. It is set inside there. Okay. Okay, so that was G7. Now we'll go over to 84. So it wants us to put a door handle on G11. This is G11. It had fallen out when I was on the plate, working with the plate. It fell out. So G6. G6. I see it up here. G6 is that door handle. Okay. So if I don't look down while you're chatting, that's why Michael's here to respond to you. Oh yeah. So this kit doesn't come with the LED lights because it's set in 1880. It's only going to be lantern fed. Now I think they make miniature bulbs that have flickering light like a candle, and I'm going to look around and see if I can find those as well, and I'll wire them up. You know, maybe put some kind of battery box down here, and or get them so that they're rechargeable, and stick them somewhere, or just stick it somewhere so that it shines through the window. But this one doesn't have an LED kit like my other kits do, the Japanese Edo period shops and stuff that I made. All right, so we got the door. We're going to put this door handle on here and cross our fingers and toes that it fits. Let's first get the orientation right. Make sure that, okay, yeah, see that where it's the red arrow is telling you want to make that sit on the right side. Okay. So we're going to place this down here and see if we can press this in there. So again, by looking at the size of the door and say the orientation of this place, what would you say the scale of this is? Most men in the 1880s were what, about 5 feet tall? So to about right here, right? Not, I mean, unless you were 6 foot or higher, this is going to be a big door. That door handle is tremendous. Almost feels like you need like just a giant to go through that, right? So I got some flash that I can feel right here, so I'm going to take the little file. Oh, I mentioned this in part 1. This black side is heavier grit than this white side is a lighter, more polish. This actually adds some weathering to it, so it's a little rough right there. There we go. There's one on the bottom here, okay. So on the orientation lines, I guess, I'll try to get that to focus for you. Okay, so we've completed that. Now we're moving on to 15, page 15, which is step 85. And it's showing me how to put the door onto the thing here, but wait a second. Okay, so we're actually now putting the whole wall up here onto the thing. So I think I'm going to put the door in first. Try. Okay, so you're going to have to hold it together here. Okay. So now we're going to hold it together and we're going to look at these tabs here and here and that one there. And we're going to look on here and see that we've got multiple tabs, but we're not using all of those tabs. So we're going to align these two here together. So let's see if we can hold this together. Ooh, that's a scary sound. I don't like any of that. Okay. We have put that wall up. Again, they didn't paint that side there, so if you feel willing, take out some of your acrylic paints or whatever you have, or maybe you have a brown marker. Unfortunately, I only have the black Sharpie, and that's not the color that we want there. I would need like a brown Sharpie, but I think with one of my paintbrushes, in fact, you know what? Let's do this. Because it does show that is painted and not plain. So I'm going to put the phone down for a moment. I'll be right back. So hang on there for a moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a paintbrush and some paint. Hey, Sam. Sammy, entertain them. Okay. Hey, Sammy, can you tell everyone to like, share, comment, and subscribe to @RealTalkJim? All right. Little basket I got at Dollar Tree for $1.50. So we'll grab one of these critters. So I think 35 here, some of 34. I think all these colors may actually work on here, so I'll put that aside over there. That aside over there. Grab a little water. Okay. You don't have to do this. It's not suggested in here to paint it. They messed up. But, hey. It looks like close to the color. But we can dry brush it, so. Sorry about that. When in doubt, do it yourself. That's why it's called DIY crafts. Do it yourself. This will give you just a hint that there's something going on. It's already got it on the inside. We don't have to deal with that, thank goodness. Let's see Bob Ross do this. No, I love Bob Ross. I wish he was still alive. Okay. Just now, we gave it our own. We gave it our own 2 cents here. Let's take a little on the inside here. Okay. Because we know this door can be opened, which is kind of cool. Okay. So you can do your own role playing. A little that in there. Good as new, right? Good as new. Pretty slick. Does that work for you? Hey, Sammy. Sammy, you want to say hi to Michael? You want to say hi to Michael, Sam? He's having more fun just staring outside in a beautiful day out there. All right, so we did that. If we wanted to, we don't have to, but if we wanted to add a little kind of weathering maybe to it, let's see what would be the closest up here in this kit. These are a little too bright, but I think it's meant to just give it an inference that we've added some color. Okay, so we'll clean it up because I'm going to be painting another desert scene for y'all. Probably next week or maybe this weekend. I'm going to start on a new painting of a desert scene that I saw that looks super slick. So there we go. They screwed up and didn't add the coloring to the thing. I could wait and see if China will send me another part that has silkscreen, but you know what? We improvise, we adapt, and we overcome. Okay, so we have done that stage there. You can even see it painted on there, but obviously not for us. Because you see, it shows it's painted on theirs, but I just painted it. So, all right, so we're doing step 86. Looks like we're doing another wall filled with these little pegs again. So we need F3. So let's look for F3 in our plates here. Oh, they did the same thing to this one. No, they didn't. Oh, they did. Those mother fathers. Mother fathers. Wow. Okay, so here's F3 with no coloring at all. So they completely missed on this one as well. That is messed up. All right, so we need F7, F8. Oh no, that's the boards. We need E13 times 12, those tiny little pegs. So we'll go back to E. There are a billion of those little things. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Again, this is showing color. There's color on this side, but we know that this is going to be incorrect because this needs to be on the inside, right? But they have nothing on this plate. Why did they not silkscreen these plates? I am baffled. Okay, so we can obviously go back and we'll paint that when that needs to be done. So we need E13 times 12. So again, E13, so we need 12 of these. So let's go to work. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So obviously there's extras. Okay. All right, these guys flew all over the place here, so we're going to try to collect them up and try to put them together. Okay. Had a little trouble last time trying to put them together. There is a special orientation for how you have to put these on this board. That longer part has to face north. The shorter part has to face south when you put it on here. The red, stop focusing on my thumb. Stupid freaking YouTube. That is so lame that it won't focus on the piece, that it only focuses on the stupid, there we go, look at that. Thank you. The red indicates that it gets pressed into the board. So when I go quiet right here, it's only because I want to crawl into a fetal position and start screaming. So before I was live streaming these things, I was just making videos of the process and uploading them, but I didn't see much traffic on that. And one of the viewers, one of the comments was, "Hey, you should try live streaming." And I said, "Oh, okay." I didn't know if anybody would watch, but all right. I was kind of hoping if there were new viewers, they'd hit that subscribe button, but I guess I don't really have the content to warrant subscribers. So, but you're more than welcome to smash that subscribe button. Get us up to 4,000 subscribers so that we could start panhandling you guys for 5,000 subscribers. Huh, why is this one being funky? Got a funky monkey here. Oh, I think I busted this one off. Busted part of the dingus cardboard here. Let's peel that off. Sammy, I'm hungry. Can you make some lunch for us? Can I have some of your cat food? But if you're familiar with my channel, I don't take tips. And if you buy anything in the store, the money doesn't go to me, it goes to charities. So that's how I roll. Right now, you should probably keep your money. You don't need to give it to a live streamer. With the way rent is and bills and everything else, food and gas, real expensive right now. Hang on to that money. I'll put Sammy on the street to hook before I ask anybody for help. Trying to get this on here when this one piece is not cooperating. All the pegs have busted off. There we go. Okay. Everybody's on. All right, so that was, again, step 86. So step 87, we're going to start putting those boards up. So let's look for F. Okay. So we'll start off with F6. Place this one up at the top. That one's supposed to hang off to the left. Seems weird. This one seems like it's awfully far past the wall. Except in this shot, it doesn't show it as being off the edge, but in this shot, it does show it being off the edge. Bizarre. So it seems a little weird the way it is, right? Seems like it's going to get into confrontation with that peg, but okay. Let's continue on. Okay, so now we need F7, F8, F9, and then the rest. Okay. So we're looking at these boards here. This one goes around said window. Okay, so let's... I'm sorry, the focusing is super weird. There we go. That one's squished on just fine. Okay, so we need F7. That was F7. We need F8. There's F8. Okay. That peg is a little wonky. Okay, that one's squished on. Peg coming out. F9. The pegs are kind of getting weird in here. It's got a little flashing on it, but okay, that one pressed on pretty good. Okay, F10. Okay. Try to realign that one there. Okay, it's stuck on there. There we go. That one pressed on pretty good. Okay, and F11. Okay. Got to realign the little peg here so it's vertical. There's the squishy sound we like. Okay, and F12 and F13. It's the one we broke in there, so hopefully this will work. Yep, okay. Whew, chemicals on this thing will get you high. I will tell you that. Whew, holy monkey. Okay, realign that piece there. Okay, we'll pop that out of place. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Okay. That was F12 and F13, so we got all that. Now, it wants me to attach it to the saloon, which is this wall. But before I do that, I'm going to paint it. Because why not? Why not? Okay, I get a little Painty McPainter tin out. It's the paint that I'm going to be using here. And these paints that I currently have in my hand right here were for the that, what was that? That cliffside sunset waves that you can see in a couple of the episodes before. These were all the colors of the cliffside and the wave, you know, foam and such. All right, so let's grab a little of this. Now, again, this puzzle doesn't say anything about painting, but it clearly they forgot to silkscreen these parts. So we're just going to add a little flavor here. It's already silkscreen on that side. On this type of material, this MDF board, I suppose you can use a marker as well, because it's kind of like a paper top, paper with cardboard pressed in between the two laminated pieces. Okay. I'm just using a light amount. I'm not, you know, putting major effort into this, because clearly, although this is going to be seen, I don't want to throw it off from the other silkscreen stuff. Okay, the windowsill looks fine. All right, let's close up our pod. We'll keep that close by. Clean off our brush for now. Okay, we'll keep the brush over there as well, and the paper towel, because we did get a little of that on there. And okay. Also brought out the big guns, magnifying glass, so it doesn't work very well, does it? There it goes. Look how clean that looks through there. See that sassy little hinge right there. Oh, there's a horsey back there. Don't want to focus on anything else because there's too many objects. All right, so we are going to turn the doohickey this way. And we're going to look at the instructions on step 89 here. Follow the red arrows on where we need to press the pegs into the slots. 3 sides there, 3 sides here. So we are going to go peg, 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 peg. And now we're going to try. Why is it so much longer on that side than this side? Nope. Nobody wants to go today. So we got to get our little dingus here to take off some of this. This doesn't want to cooperate. It's going to be a little tougher because of the wood there. Oh, peeled off some of that. Stick off a little edge. Something else is probably going to go on the front of this because this seems extra long. Okay, so let's, oop, wrong way. Oop, wrong way. Okay, we don't want to go. We're now going to turn it this way. The walls are probably going to come apart as I do this. How else am I supposed to... I've got nothing to hold on to press this on. Sammy, I need some help. Okay. That's not going to work. So let's take this whole wall off here. See if there's any way we can connect this way. Without breaking anything. Oh. Okay. Like I said, if I can't make things fit, I will chop off the pegs and I will glue it down. See, this side does not, no matter what, this side is not having it. These things are way too thick. The pegs are too thick to go into those slots there. So we got to do some major surgery. All right, Lee 479, appreciate you hanging out with us. And I'll go to your channel if you're uploading content like building kits and stuff like that. I'll certainly go. We can try to collaborate. I'm down for that. If you want to collaborate, just let me know. Okay, I'm trying to set up, I've got a couple of different easels here. Like my neighbor loves painting too, so I'm trying to see if I can get her to come out and we'll collaborate on a dual live stream type of thing. Yeah, this is not working at all. So there's only one thing I can do. Let's make this slot larger. Or pop off, like I said, pop off part of the peg here. Let's see what I'm doing here. I'm removing part of the peg because clearly this is way too thick. This is just bad quality control. That's what it is. Happens with a lot of these knockoff kits too. So just be prepared to improvise. And the dust on the floor is perfect. Might as well just leave the dust on the floor, you know. Okay. So there's literally no way this is going to connect without chopping the pegs completely off, but the pegs obviously have to be used for something. So now we got to completely figure this one out. Okay, so it'll let me connect with the front pegs, but not the rear pegs. Oh, actually, it's better now that I've removed this here. So I'm going to run a bead of glue here. All right. Okay. This is using the back of a screwdriver. Luckily, it's a clear glue. It'll clear dry. All right, that seemed like a lot of unneeded crap right there to piss me off, but we persevered and got through it. All right, so that was step 89. Now this one here, H1, we got to do a whole nother window, or a whole nother side. So it looks like we're now doing this side right here. Oh, this is not. Hang on a second. That is way too much of a gap. No, but nothing I can do. All right, we're gonna do this side right here. Got the staircase coming up. In part one, we did the whole underneath. So there's a whole, obviously, downstairs, the full saloon downstairs, and with there no lights in there, I'm gonna turn my flash on, see if you can see inside there a little bit. So you got a full bar inside there. You got a menu, you got multiple benches and things like that. I think I need more bullet holes on the walls, honestly. I think once I start putting some flickering candle type lights in there, it'll look a whole lot better. Like I said, this kit didn't come with any LED, unfortunately. All right, so H1. I don't think we've used H yet. So H1. Here's H1, another one, unpainted. H1. And all the boards for that one. Put this one aside. Okay, H1, and again, if you see it in here, it shows it being painted, silk screened. That's a real shame. So we got to get these little critters again and put them all over this here. So I'm going to be popping out these little critters here. We need 12 of them. So remember the fun we had with these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's still more, so there's probably going to be another thing we have to do. Oh, I popped something out here. So put that over there. Okay. All right. Let's have some fun with little pegs. And remember what I said. Hard to focus on this piece here, but let's see if this will let me focus. Look, can't do it. There's a red mark on here. That's the part that connects onto the slot here. The pointed part faces north, and the little part faces south. Okay. Press that. That's the squishy sound. Okay. For those of you just joining me, my name is Ricky. I'm live streaming on Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp through YouTube. And we're building this wooden DIY miniature house, the Western Saloon, circa 1880, with a model number of XF25042. Michael 070 Knight, one of my RDR2 buddies, is moderating the stream. So you're more than welcome to comment. I will respond. He will respond. If you like this type of content, hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share at Real Talk Chimp with your friends and family. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers before the end of today. How's that sound? Before the end of this live stream, we want to hit 4,000 subscribers. And we do upload content daily, so you can hit the little notification bell. I paint, I sculpt, I babble because I'm a crazy hybrid chimpanzee. I build kits, I play video games, and I have a cat named Sammy. And I like taking short walks off of long piers. I like taking long piers off of short walks. I like taking short walks off of short piers. I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. I'm done. But Mike can fully explain to you on Red Dead Online how he bulldozes people off of piers into the water. And we do have some funny videos of Mike doing that. very funny videos in our Red Dead Online playlists. We used to run a video series called A Series of Unfortunate Events in Red Dead Online, and there's like 20 or 30 episodes with that one. It's kind of like what GameSprout does. GameSprouts is pretty funny because they add music and sound effects and stuff, and I started doing that, but I thought it was kind of cheesy. Because the game has natural sound anyway, especially when you make a mistake. You get that critical error sound, which is hilarious. This last one here is not cooperating. There we go. Okay, we got all them critters on there. All facing the correct way. Oh, the power sneeze is, yeah, that's like, I mean, it's not one of our first, but that was, I was just sad that it really didn't get views. And people are like, well, why would I want to watch somebody sneeze? I can go watch live streamers sneeze somewhere else. Well, we were live streaming that one, or we up? No, I just uploaded that as content. All right, we're flipping the page from 15 over to 16. But it was the sneeze that was just lined up perfectly with Mike running over a horse rider and the horse rider flying up in the air from a glitch. All right, so you see here on here, it is painted, silk screened, yet you see here, it is not. They completely forgot that one as well. So we'll be painting that like we painted the others. All right, so we're looking for H2. Let's see if we can get this instruction book to cooperate here. There must be some reason why they didn't silkscreen this, because on the other page it says, place the printed side facing backwards. So why some of the parts aren't silkscreened, I don't know. All right, we're looking for H2. We found H2. Silk screening on the H2 is a little wonky, but it's there. I can see it better when I'm looking at it with my eyes than looking through the cell phone. Okay, so we're going to connect these open slots and make sure that the dark part of the board is facing upwards so that the square is lower to where the top is. We're going to be placing that on these pegs. Try to straighten these little pegs out. Okay. So same with that last board. That one is hanging off the side a little bit there. That's one of the reasons why it made it hard connecting the walls. All right, so we're looking for H3, H4, H5, H6, H7, H8, H9. So we'll do it one at a time. There's H3. There's everything here, but we're going to do it one at a time. So there's a piece that goes around the windowsill. And it's also karaoke tonight, so I'm a little curious on what I'll be singing so that I can entertain. I tried to live stream my karaoke, but the bar said nope. And I don't know how to blur out faces, so I know there's a way you can do it. I don't know how to do it. There's probably a way on my phone, maybe a setting or something that I have to download. But I'm on an Android. Most people have iPhones, I guess. All right, there's this H5. Okay, H5. These things sit a little wonky. Okay, I'm going to do an H8 first. It's another small piece. I'll do H9. Cool seeing the background back here, isn't it? H9. I'm going to do a horizontal board, H6 here. No! Oh, that's something else. Okay, H6. Those things happen. Those parts fall out of the plates all the time. Just set them aside. This one's a little wonky here. Always got to be one. Always got to be one that doesn't cooperate. H7. Okay. Realign those pieces there. Got to realign the chi. Okay, I don't know why that one went that direction. Oh, okay. So that was step 92. Step 93 is telling us that to snap it onto the back of the saloon or the side of the saloon with the arrows here. But we're going to paint it first like we did with the other side. So we're going to grab our paint again. We're using this brown 35 here. Now this didn't come with this kit. This came with my my painting, one of my painting sets. Oh. It's a really hot day today, so I am just sitting here sweating like a chimpanzee. All right, let's get this in here. Kind of hard to see that side there. It's not the exact color that needs to be, but it's close enough. It's actually a little bit more reddish than this brown. Almost looks like a brown stain. Varnish. At least it gives us some form of realism in there. Okay, because you see that side's already done. So it's just a little help. Dry out a little bit. Clean off this paintbrush. Okay, I'll leave the paintbrush out there in case we need it again. Okay. Oh. Stretchy McStretcher tins. Okay, so again, we're going to get hit with some paint here, but we're going to try this. Let's take a look at this. This is the correct side this way. Okay. Cross your fingers and toes that we can get this board up here. right out of the gate. I'm not seeing any way for this to connect. Without some serious pressure. Oh, parts falling off. I don't understand why they made these pegs so difficult to put in here. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it without breaking it. So once again, we got to pop off this pegs. Again, very poor quality control for this kit. See, the openings here are too short compared to the pegs. That's just poor quality control. Ooh. Does not even want to fit in there at all. Zero. The difficulty of this puzzle kit is a lot more than the other ones that I've worked on. And I think it's because of this shoddy construction. Honestly, it's just the parts that don't refuse to fit. This one's really messed up down here. And this is what happens in a live stream. If I was uploading the content, I wouldn't have to put you through this torture of watching me do this. Potentially chopping off a phalange, although you'd probably watch more if I did that. See, it's still too big. This is the part where I want to start screaming and smash this into bits. I feel like I just want to... Nope, it won't even press together because it's still too big. Let's take this off. Do we really need this wall? Seriously. Can we just throw this wall away and just put a photo on there? So now I got it enough to where it connects onto there. Now I got to figure out how to align it. Oh my God. That fell off there. And whew. All right. Got the pat dry off the forehead. That took a lot of work out of me right there. That was ridiculous. I like the dust on the floor though. All right, so this little dude does not want to stay, so we're going to add a little glue to him because the peg underneath is broken. Just leave him on there with some glue. Holy mother of monkey jello. All right, what do we got to do now? That was step 93. Now we got to put H14, the thing that fell off into my hands. H14 needs to go on top there onto the ceiling. Okay, so one last look inside at the little poker table there. It's like a turquoise black with the benches and stuff, and you got some shot glasses and critters up there. You got some photographs of some lovely ladies. You got the staircase going down. Okay, we're not going to glue this down because in case we want to run lights down inside there. Probably not want to do that. All right, so we are looking, this has to be reversed this way because according to the orientation, that is facing to the left. So let's look at this again. Okay, you see how that's all connected on yonder. Okay, so hopefully we get this on the first try and not have to break everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pretty cool looking though now. On this side, you got wanted posters. So you can see these. Not very well. Still pretty cool. Gotta get your bounty hunter out there. Okay, so again, you can open up the sassy door right here by using your little fingers or little tweezers. No glass in the windows, which doesn't make any sense. So this must be an old bar, like an old tumbleweed type of bar, because they're not asking us to put any windows in there. And they did have glass. Come on now. All right, so let's see where we are. Oh, we skipped a step here real quick. We got to put some corners on. So we're looking for F1 and F2. So F1 and F2. F1 and F2, which is up here. We got carried away and forgot a step. Okay, let's figure this one out. F1 and F2, so we got to turn the boards this way, connect them on here. Like you do. No sound, but just squish. So you got an opening up here, opening here. Where does this go? How does this work? Why do you show pegs? I'm very confused by this. Oh, the peg's up here. Oh, that's right, we shaved off a peg. So, let's see if we can see that there. So let's see how this is done. Like this. Yes. Okay, so we put that corner piece there. That's nice. Technically, I guess I didn't need to paint that. But we painted it anywhere because you never know. Okay. So just one side? I guess just one side. All right, so we're flipping the page to 17. No, we're building another one. H10 and H11. H10, H11 right here. Okay. And the same thing here. This one doesn't have one of those little openings like the other one did, so maybe something's going to be stuck in there. Which are probably going to be that crane, you know, when a carriage comes by and they want to lift stuff out of the carriage, they have a crane usually on the side. So that is possibly. So we have now this piece created, corner molding. Same way it's telling us to connect onto here. So we're going to do that the same here. Lovely. The board still doesn't want to stay on there. But even a board that's wonky on here is kind of cool. It doesn't, you know, maybe the dude has to come out and hit that thing with a few more nails one day. Right? It's an old saloon, parts are falling off. All right, so that was step 98. So now step 99 is requiring us to place the printed side facing backward. H16. This is H16. And of course, there's nothing on the back of this. Lovely. So place the printed side facing the backward. That's the printed side, that's the outside. But we got nothing here. So I got to paint this thing because according to this, it's freaking brown. I don't get it. All right, that can't be right. So let's look at this. Ah, right here, okay. Please don't break. Please don't break. Please don't break. All right, you don't want to go. All right, I guess we're painting this side. Really weird. Really, really. Oh my God, getting so much paint on me. Again, these paints do not come with this kit, and nowhere in the instruction manual does it say paint their kit. But if they're not going to silk screen the parts properly, then I gotta knock this out on my own, right? The board that I'm painting on is called a cut board, a self-healing cut board. I have it in the description, the link where you can purchase, where you can get them at any hobby store. And they also make it easier because they put the measurements on there. On the back side of this cutting board is another measure with circles too, if you're trying to cut out circles. And this also, you know, especially if you live at home with your folks and you're building kits and you're not doing shit like this, putting paint on the marble and getting yelled at. Everything has to be cleaned off every time I finish doing these kits because I have wonky chimpanzee hands that want to not make things work properly. I flicker paint on here, but yeah. I suggest not doing this in your kitchen. This is the only place I have unless I go outside. All right, let that dry for a moment before we start working on it again. Wash off our paintbrush. You like that product placement right there? That is not product placement, that's just a mistake. I don't get anything from Taco Bell other than diarrhea and farts. I could clear a schoolyard with my gas. And I don't mean like mustard, I mean like poop gas. Also when I'm flinging poop as a chimpanzee, that's true too. All right, so now we have a side that we like. So we are going to put this critter back in here. But I think I'm going to have to file down a little bit because it wasn't fitting as well as I wanted it to. I would say the fitment is a bit wonky. So, Mike, that Japanese kit that I showed in part one that I had gotten, it's a $60 kit, China. See, this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. Place the printed side facing backwards. But this side is the outside. This side should go like this. Much better fit when you shave down some of those parts. So this is now our inside. Okay. So H13, step 100 requires H13 and H17, and we got an Achtung right there. So we're looking for an H17, which is this guy right. Nope, not that guy. It is that guy. Why is there an H19 there? Oh, that's a separate piece. The H17 is this one here. And these are two different parts. The wood is like cracked in the wood, and that's crazy. That's a perfect place for a mouse to come through. Oh, H13. My bad. Well, since that's already falling apart. H13. If you were an H13, you'd be right here. All right, so let's see here. According to this, we need to connect it like so. So it's not going to be a good fit because it's going to be a double space. Oops. That's the Achtung telling me to push it forward. Holy mother of monkey jello. Okay, so there's two slots. Okay, so now, that was step 100. Step 101, pay attention to how the parts are combined. So H15 times 2, H15 times 2, be right here. Pay attention to how the parts are combined. Now, attention to how the parts are combined. Okay, well, these obviously have some shapies to them, so we have to face them this way and connect it to here, like you do, very reluctantly. And this one, like so. Okay. That side we don't have really. Can't push it down. Okay, and over here we have H12 times 1. H12 times 1. Here is H12 times 1 and times 2. So, I figured this one goes this away with H18 that we had fall apart there. H12 times 2 goes this way. H19, which is here, goes here. So we'll push this aside. We'll take a look at how you connect these critters. Okay. So these critters just press on here. There was a snap. Okay. This one on here, like so. Oh, okay. Got them two looking things. That was step 102. We're gonna flip them. We're gonna flip the page from 17 to 18. Got a whiff of that chemical again. Ugh. And now we need two H20s. Two H20s. Oh, you know what we're doing the sign, I think. I think we're building the sign right here. That's kind of what that looks like. It does look like that. We're looking for two H20s right here. Put that over there. All right, let's figure this out. Let's see how they're orientated on here. So we have a little slot there. Almost dropped that. All right, that's how we connected that. The same for this gizmo. Well, that one actually made a squishing sound, so that was kind of nice. Okay. All right. So now you want me to connect these. Okay, so we're going to connect these. How? I don't see any way to connect it. What are you saying? What? There is no slot over there that I see. What are you saying? What? You're literally showing a slot on here where you can connect these things? Ain't nothing of the sort. Okay. Supposed to be something like like that if there were slots on there. All right, well, that don't work. Okay, so you want me to note the assembly method for part H16. Um, okay, I see this. That don't work. That is so weird. Okay, so I assume that you know what happens when we assume. This is going to be a major problem if I cannot get this piece back. Oh, thank you. Oh, that one almost broke. So we're connecting these top slots to the pegs up here. Not the best. Terrible fitment. And then somehow doing this with no glue. I have to assume that this has to be glued. I see the peg here has to go into that slot right there. Oh, okay. Same for this one. This peg there has to go into that slot right there. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay. A little wonky. Okay, that's your crazy edges. So if we were to flip it around, you can see on this side the cracks in this thing. Let me put on the flash. So the cracks in the wood. It's a pretty neat effect. Okay. Well, it was a good thing I painted that thing so you could see that back there. Hey, Ian, welcome back. Slowly but surely building this critter. Okay. So we did step 99, well, basically step 105 with part 99. The step up. That whole piece was step 99, this whole bottom piece. But piece 105 was connecting these parts onto said, there you go. Okay, so back view of assembly steps. We're now looking at the back view. This is the back view. All right, so you want me to assemble... Uh-oh. What? Are you serious? This has to be flipped around? I totally screwed this up is what you're... Oh my God. It told me to flip this thing around, did it not? But now it's telling me that it's facing the wrong direction. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm baffled. Why would you tell me? Look at it. Those are the panels for the front. This is so weird. This is so undeniably weird. I am conflaborated. The word of the day is conflaborated. Try to look that one up in a dictionary. You won't find it. Often, real talk chimp has many strokes because he is a hybrid chimpanzee. And when you start monkeying around with genetically modified organisms, you have Freudian slips. And now, this should be correct. See how it's looking this way now. Because you need those two slots to do this next part. And you had those when I had it reversed, the two slots. But I thought that was a sign going to go on there, like a saloon sign. But no, this is going to be where you put those beams that hold signs up when they start, teetering. So H21 times 2. H21. There's 2 of them there. Okay. Ooh. All right, so now we have to go at an angle because you see they have angled parts on them. So we go stick one in there and it sticks to the ground right there. So we're sticking one there and it sticks to the ground. Let's make sure we're going into the right slot. Nope, it wants to put it on the outside, not the inside. Connecting that. Connecting that. So we're leaving that slot open right there for possibly something else. Those are the 2 slots right there. Oftentimes you hide in there, or you hide and shoot over the edges there, but you hide in here to shoot over the edges there, right? Right? We've done that. We've done that in, I can't remember. I've only stopped playing Red Dead Online. Oh, and Valentine. This is a type of saloon you'd find in Valentine, so. Okay. So we connected those according to this, and this is showing how it's connected. All right, that was step 108 on page 18. We are going to page 19 to step 109, and we are building something else that's going to require I3 times 2. We have not been to I. That is the kit that we are building. It's the Western Saloon, circa 1880, model number XF25042, 450 pieces. It is almost a 4-star build. Okay. So we're looking for I3 times 2. Okay, so here's I3 times 2. Don't know what this is. Maybe a building, a table. I don't know what this is. We won't know until we get there. So an I3 times 2, and you want that to go onto the top of the roof. Like so. You see the red arrows pointing to the slots. All right, so it doesn't say painted side. No, it doesn't really say. So we're going to go, hopefully this is correct. There's an old Victorian house styled in the 1800s, but Victorian is 1700s. So there's an old like Western style house that you can run with this series, not with this company, but if you wanted to do an old Western like town, they have shops and saloons and buildings that you can do. Like I was doing the Japanese city walk, but I built pretty much all 12 of the kits from different manufacturers. And eventually when I move to my next place, I'm going to set up like a train station type of board where you put your train tracks and stuff. Only in this one here, I'm going to run it with the paintings that I'm doing of the Japanese Edo period, and then I'll put the buildings in front of the paintings. So that's what we just did here. So now we're going to get an I2 and put it on top of that, which is this right here. Oh, maybe this is a water tower? Okay. So I think we connect the pegs and the slots here. Horrible sound, but okay. We have connected that. That was up here in this stage. Moving down over here, we need an I3. No. Moving down over here, we need to rotate this to the front. Rotate to the front. And we need to build an awning. So we need F14 and F15. F14 Tomcat and F15 Strike Eagle. Here's F. So we need F14 and F15. Here's F14 and F15. Very delicate. Be careful taking them out of the plate. Okay. This one has the fence post ball on top. Okay, so now we're just going to set them according to the instructions. In, 15 goes to the right with the ball facing outward. Okay. A little F14 here. The boards still keep coming out. Hey, Willard, you need to come out and get some nails and a hammer, and you need to put this thing back on here. It's falling off. You got that, Willard? Why is his name got to be Willard? I don't know. First thing that popped into my head. All right, we're going to take this off because this is being troublesome here. Okay. Squishy sound, clicky sound, there we go. We got us an awning here. And we need, oh, we're making an awning all the way around. So we need an F18 Tomcat. No, F18 is not a Tomcat, that's the F14. The F18 is the, what is the F18? Oh my God. Brain core. F18. This big old thing right there. Do not break. Okay. Let's take a look here. We got a little ball on the end of this one. Which way the ball got to go? It's got to go this way. Okay. Oh, don't take off the Texas Longhorn. Alrighty. Seems like that would be a corner piece, but I guess that's maybe for a ladder or staircase going up here. We're going to rotate. And we're going to get ourselves an F19. Is here. Keep an eye on the time here. We'll put our F19 with the pegs here into the slots there. Ooh, snap on one side, squish on the other. Okay, and then we need an F17. That's the stealth. Here's your F17. No, that's the F117, right? This is the stealth. Okay, so this one here, you got the peg there, it goes into the slot there. combination of squish, and snap. Okay, so that was the F17. Now we're dropping down here, and we got to put an E26 times 2, an E26 times 2. So we'll go and grab our E. Let's put these guys aside. E26. Oh, these guys right here. E26. This is going to require me to use the accessory tool here because these are some small parts. Accessory tool. I didn't want to come apart. There we go. Okay, so these guys want us to connect them to the far edges. So if we look on here, we're going to connect that peg onto that slot right there. Ooh, don't break. This one here onto that spot right there. That one just kind of squished in there, okay. Is that facing the correct way? It is facing the correct way. Okay, and then we're going to put E25 times 5 around the curve here. So E25 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They give you an extra one in case you snap one. So E25, we're going to use our auxiliary tool. So I asked in the part 1 what kind of cactus that is. No one responded. That's the same kind of cactus that I painted in my painting. Can you let me know what type of cactus that is? It's specific to a native area. You don't see them in California, but you do see them in, Arizona, maybe New Mexico. But cactuses are, there's several species of cactuses. So cactuses can be in different places. Now, of course, the birds carry the seeds. Then yes, eventually. All right, we're going to put these pegs. I'm going to try to connect these on here. Not even hearing a snap or a squish. This is a very gentle thing here. Let me see if there's some way to hold this. There we go. Using our multi-tool here. That's how we got to do it. Ooh. Let's flip it around. This one does not want to cooperate. Okay, best that we can do there. Let's get that. All right. Okay, so that was step 114. Flipping the page from 19 to 20. And the reason why I call out the page numbers, the saguaro. Sorry about that. It's going to reconnect, hopefully. Let's see. Let's see if it reconnects. Okay, it reconnects. Sorry about that. I because I switched on my phone to look that up on Googly. I don't know if you got any of that. So basically it said it was native to the Sonoran Desert, which is what I painted here in my blooming desert. That is based off of the Sonoran Desert, which would be your Nevada going into Arizona, into New Mexico and Texas and Oklahoma and all that fun shit. And of course, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you go to the Sonoran Desert. So thank you, Ian, for looking that up. Appreciate it. All right. The reason why I call the page numbers out, because I've built kits where the page numbers were misput. So like the 20 showed up in the, back over here in the back somewhere, totally screwed up. So I call out page numbers now. All right, so it looks like we got to put a railing on top of that, and that's E11. So let's look for E and look for E11, which is right here. Okay, now this is going to be fun to stick on here. So that's flashing, busted off there. So we wrap it around that. Try to connect it. No, sir. Okay. Of course, none of these want to cooperate. So this looks like it's going to be more of just going to sit here, because these fence posts underneath here are not cooperating at all. So if you look at it from under here, they're not connecting at all. But we don't need it. We can just leave it like that. Okay. So that was that. Now we need to make a chair, I guess. Steps 116. We need I 14 times 2. I 14 times 2. I 14 times right here. Does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care about time? Can't go into falsetto. Does anybody know what time it is? Apparently, I got to live stream a video game at 5. Okay, so that's that critter, but we need to connect it to an I-15. I-15, Interstate 15, where are you located? Here we go. I-15. What does the I-15 go out of Barstow, I think? Barstow when you're heading out to Las Vegas. Is that the Interstate 15? All right, so according to this, we need to connect it like you do. So we need to connect the wood side down. That's a nice squishy sound. And then we need to connect, we did the wrong side. Holy mother of monkey jello. We want the blank side facing the outwards. Don't make me call your mom. Don't make me turn this car around. All right, so we are looking in that direction there. Okay, now we're going to drop over here and put an I-16 as the back of said chair. All right, oops. We're connecting that in there. Okay. Why? Gotta use my teeth. Now, I don't think there's a suggestion on how to build. It didn't say you couldn't use your teeth on here, I squished it together with my teeth. It doesn't taste very good. But I used my teeth and I made myself a little chair. Okay, we'll keep that. Where does that go? That goes out on the balcony out here, apparently. And it's going to require me to use glue to place said critter down. So we're going to get our B7000. And we are going to put some critter there. Glue there, some glue there, some glue there, and we're just going to plop our little monkey lover right here. Maybe that's a smoking spot. Maybe use it to spit off the top. Spit your loogies. Okay, cover that up there. We don't need that right now. We don't want it to dry out. So it shows it, it doesn't show it. I rotated it a little bit, but it kind of shows it, I guess, like that. So after applying the adhesive, let the part sit for 1 minute. You got it, sister. All right, so let's work on another part here. It looks like we're building a staircase on stage 119, step 119. So C15 times 2, which are the sides of the ladder, and C14 times 6, which are the rungs or steps on said ladder. So we're going back to C. So we're going back H-I, F-H, E-F-G, E-F-G, E-F-G-H. I'm learning how to do the alphabet today. Bear with me. What is this? That is an E. That goes before F. E-F. And then a D goes before E. Trust me, the next time you get pulled over and they tell you to do the alphabet backwards, yeah. Just take me to jail. I can't even do it sober. Take me to jail. All right, here's C15 times 2. Some of the flashing came off. See, there's flashing separating these, but it came off and attached itself to this, so I got to bust that out. So let's get rid of those. It's a pretty cool looking little flash, though. I'd save that and use it for something else, maybe plumbing off the side of a building. Okay, let's take a looky-see and see which way is which. Nope. 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 All right, so this goes on this side. Now this here goes on this side. Okay, so that's that side. That's C15, but eventually it's going to be rotated, butterflied out. So now we need C14 times 6 right here. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Okay. So now we're going to connect said critters from the posts into these slots, like you see here. So these are always a pain in my butt. So here. Oh, we broke that staircase. That's awesome. We're going to have to do some gluing. That's not connecting itself. Oh my God. This crap is so delicate. You really got to be careful. You can see how I busted the side of this staircase here. So we're going to have to do some serious gluing. Why? That one fit. Okay, how about this one here? Let's try to connect this side as well if we can somehow. Oh my God. Of course it's not going to fit. Why would I ever think in a million years that it was going to fit on here? Why would I think that? And over half the kit did not want to go together without filing down. Oh my. See, this is why I live stream these things, so you can see the struggle of actually building some of these kits. Do you know that you can buy these kits, and there are companies that will put these kits together for you, like an Angie's List type of thing? Isn't that crazy? You buy it, I'll put it together. I'll charge you $1,000 freaking dollars, of course, because I'm going to be breaking a lot of the pieces off. I can assure you of that. If I was just to upload content of, the things already built, then you wouldn't believe the struggle and the perspiration that I am going through, the blood, sweat, and tears that I am going through trying to push these little freaking pieces on with these old chimpanzee arthritic hands. And they are not cooperating. Nope. They 100% are telling me to go F myself in every language you can imagine. Most of it's probably in Chinese. I'm not 100% sure on how to say. Or do I want to do that without losing my account on YouTube? Wow. I'm telling you, the struggle is real here. Like literally, this is, I want to crawl into the fetal position and cry myself to sleep. How much pain and torture I'm going through trying to put this little critter together here. It shouldn't be this crazy, but sometimes it just is. It is what it is. And without my sassy commentary, where would you be? Oh, okay. All right. So I guess the bottom one gets left open for something else. Because I don't see, I have 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the bottom one doesn't show anything there. So now it's telling me to place this and showing me how to connect this to that. To connect that to that, okay. So let's give it the college try here. Okay. So I guess we got to connect the bottom first and just set that in there. Connect the bottom first. Ow! I'm going to bite this thing in a second here. I'm going to sick Sammy on it. Sammy, where are you? Get over here and bite this stupid staircase that don't want to plug into its freaking son of a mother father. No good gosh darn. Okay. Ow. Holy monkey, that hurt. They're going to be drunk anyway. They're just going to trip off of this thing and fall all the way down. Hence the saloon part. Okay. Got that. Why? Why do you show... Wait a minute. Was I not supposed to put this top one on here? Now it shows, look, okay, check this out. It shows you put it on the top one up here, right? And then in the next photo, it shows the top one empty. Then why would you... Son of a... Dirty, no good. You can fill in the swear words wherever you'd like. We didn't get any of it. I like your sarcasm. By me in Wisconsin, it's 5:50. Okay, so you are 3 hours ahead of me. So let me see if I can see it. So it's 4:03. I don't really want to live stream that video game, so I may go past the 5 and keep working on this. But we'll see. And by the way, the game is Arc Raiders, but I've already, I made a poll in the community. Should I continue to live stream Arc Raiders? And I got a 100% saying stop. So this is Friday tonight is the last time we're going to live stream Arc Raiders until they either fix their game or come out with some better shit, anti-hacks, all that crap. So this will be the last time I live stream it. Plus, I don't get any viewers on that, so that's one of the big reasons I'm going to stop. It was good when it, first came out, the first couple of weeks, but then, people lost interest. Okay, so it looks like we're building handrails on here. I'm not sure what step 121 is telling me to do, other than that's how it's supposed to be. So step 122 is showing a handrail of an E12. So let's dig down for our E, which is here. Oh, E12, it fell off. Oh, I see. There's an arrow pointing on this board here, and that's what that black arrow is. Okay, so here's E12. Okay, so you want this where? You want this on the outside here? So this is going to connect with this piece here, connecting to that slot there, with the arrow pointing to the right. This peg connecting to that slot. Oh, it's not focusing there. Right up there. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. There's a good squish. And there's a good squish. So there we go. Okay, I assume we're going to put one on this side. We are not going to put one on that side. Okay. So this is strictly on one side only. And I'm trying to remember the staircases in Red Dead, if they had two of those or they only had one. But again, this is your old kind of tumbleweed saloon here, so no windows, probably all been shot out. But the thing is, you can come back with some clear styrene and put your own windows in there, maybe put some bullet holes in them. Do it yourself, like I said, Do it yourself. Why not? Okay, so now Step 123 is telling me to put a welcome sign. So we need an F-16. F-16's been around since the Korean War, I think, right? They were used extensively in Vietnam. And they're actually still used today by most third world countries. All right, so you want me to put this on that peg right there? That right there, okay. There we go. Welcome sign. Let's get this thing to focus so you can see it. You can see that on there, I hope. Oh. Can't tell what's on there. It looks like they have a cup attached to it. Okay, so that's done. Now it wants me to do the lanterns. In part one, we put these hooks before we put the rooftop up. So a little hard to see, but get this to focus here if I can. This little hook right here. There's one on the other side over here. We did that in part one. This is before we put this whole upstairs up. So now they want us to put some lanterns there. Now again, these lanterns are just paper and they're meant to give a three-dimensional look. A12 part 2. And after we put on these A12, then this A plate will be finished. So you can see these little lanterns. I would seriously consider finding some small little LED lights with the flickering LEDs and make your own. All right, that one just escaped off the table. So we're going to go and capture it. We're going to use our handy dandy little catcher claw. Put that back up there. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to try to fish these underneath here. Oh boy. Sorry if you didn't see that. I had to use the tweezers to get in between this pillar right here. So there's one light right there. Let's rotate this around. Then we'll grab. Actually, we're going to need to go ambidextrous on here. This one's a little tricky. This is like doing surgery here. These guys dangle and move around a little bit. Wind is going to catch those things, break open the lamp, and torch the saloon. Okay, which has happened. I've gone into the saloon areas and shot all the candles out and torched the saloons before. All right, so we're done with the A plate. I'm going to put that back inside the box. Okay. Oh, I got to stretch. Okay, so we did that. We did those. I'm going to drop down to 125, and we're going to put a saloon sign on the side of the top side of the building up here with F4. F4, here we go. Saloon. So up here we have an opening slot right there. we're going to take this peg. We're going to place it right into said spot. There's a nice squish. There's a saloon sign there. Ugh. Okay. And then we're going to put a D6 into this corral back here. So we're going to spin this around. And we're going to hang... Oh, son of a mother father. The lantern flew off. You know what? I'm going to glue this guy on here. I am not going to glue this thing on here. I'm going to glue this thing on here. Stay. All right, so on the inside here in part one, we put that kind of little thing there. So it now wants us to put D6. D6 looks like a lasso. Try to get an optical illusion and give it its roundness. We put a saddle in part one inside there. There's a saddle already in there. Let's see if you can see that saddle in the back there on the wall. Okay, so this one here does not need to be glued according. Okay, so it's just going to dangle a lasso in there. Okay. Holy monkey, my back hurts. All right. That was page 21. We're going to go on to page 22. We got to cement a saloon sign, which is C10, onto the wall here. This is part 127. After applying the adhesive, let the parts sit for 1 minute. So we're going to put the Elmer's glue away and switch to the B7000. We don't need that. Switch to the B7000 that came with the kit. We're looking for C10. If you were C10, where would you be? And what I like about this saloon sign, there's bullet holes in it. I would almost drill those bullet holes out if I had a miniature drill. Pool, cards, and whiskey. And peeling that last part off, the C10 plate is finished. So we can put the C10 plate back in the box. Okay, so we are going to glue that up on this wall up here. Try to align this a little bit better so that it's right in between and somewhat centered, I guess, for an old saloon. Try to sheath this samurai sword again. Oh, there we go. You don't want our glue to dry out. Okay. So we done collect that up there. Now we got to go A8 and E14. We're going to put the bearded dragon next to that cactus. So we're going to look for A. It's right here. Look at that. A little bearded dragon. Or they call it a desert iguana. But I call it a bearded dragon. But out in the Sonoran Desert, they're called desert iguanas. But on Australia, mate, it's a bearded dragon. And you can find these things all over the freaking Aussie land. Okay. So let's get this little critter right there. And which one is the cactus on? E14. E14 is here. So this guy right here. Cool. Be careful taking it out. Place this critter. Here is the peg. Here is the slot. Next to our Dragon McDragon tins. Okay. So now you can see this little thing here. This makes me miss my Oz monkey. I had an Oz monkey bearded dragon. I made quite a few videos on him. In the pet section of the pet playlist that I have, where you see the kitties and the other pets that I have, the bearded dragon. All right, now we got to make ourselves a little cactus, A10 and A9, which is right here. And then this plate will be finished. We can put it in the box. This plate is complete. Okay, let's figure out how we connect these critters. So the little pluggy part that plugs into the ground faces the downward. They're both printed on both sides, which is cool. Just like I do the Japanese lamps. And that guy goes right in front of the dragon. Right here. So he's kind of poking in between the two cactuses there. Let's see if I can get this thing to focus. Little desert iguana is poking his head out between the two cactus there. Okay. So then we're going to add another cactuses, cactotrins, C27 and C28 over yonder. These guys look like either an agave, like an agave starting out, or I think they're too big to be artichokes, so I think they're more going for the agave type of look. C27 and C28. Okay, so there's two of them, so we're going to make two. So we got to take a C27 and a C28. Okay. And connect it just like we did the other one. So let's take this C28. Put it there, and this C27. And this plate is now finished. Should put that in the box. Okay, so C27, just sliding that into there. This makes me feel like we're getting close to finishing this thing. Okay, so now this one here, it's telling us to place them down over there, one in front of the corral, one in front of the saloon. Okay, so there's a peg there, and it's going to go into the slot there, we hope. Okay, that one's squished in there good. Okay, this one here is supposed to go right here, I believe. Yes, right into here. Okay, that one didn't make any sound. So those are those there. According to step 132. Flipping it over to page 23. Step 133 is, what is that? A G12. Let's figure out what a G12 is. There is a G12. It's a water spigot. I don't know why it's made of wood. Most water spigots that I know of aren't made of wood, made of metal. Where do you want me to put this? Oh, it's not a water spigot. It's something. It's something to hold something. Okay. So this gets flipped around. It's just some type of hook. This peg here gets placed into that slot. That one didn't make sound either. Okay, walk on taw. G4 is a wagon wheel. Whew, God, the chemicals on this stuff is just heinous. All right, so we got a G4, which is one of these wagon wheels. And you want me just to hang it on there? I guess I'm just gonna hang it on there, like so. And then we're gonna get us a horsey, G9. Place that one up in front here. It's G9. Why won't you? So I think I am going to take a break because I feel like I'm going to pass out for the heat. After we put this horse in, we're gonna call it here. There we go. Horsey make horser 10. Let's put the background on here. We are not done yet. We still have quite a lot more to do. But I need to take a break or I'm going to pass out, and that's not good. So my name is Real Talk. Well, my name is Ricky. Live streaming on YouTube, Real Talk Chimp. That's RealTalkChimp. We are building this Western Saloon kit from Benlarky. It's an 1880 Western Saloon. Model number XF25042. All the information for everything about this kit, plus where you can purchase it and all the tools and such that I use are in the description. And I want to thank Michael 0709 for moderating. Thank Ian for hanging out here, as well as JL Peter, howdy, and Lee-479. I like that you all chat and hang out. That's great. Lucy said hi. So yeah, remember to like if you like this type of content or any of the videos, and check out the other playlists that are on the channel. Again, this was part 2 of the Western Saloon. And we'll be having a part 3 either later tonight or tomorrow, Saturday. So with all that being said, like, share it, Real Talk Chimp, with your friends and family. Comment, like I said, as well. See you later. Peace. I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. We'd like to get to 4,000 subscribers before to the end of this live stream. If you're watching this back live or you're watching back as an archive, you're more than welcome to comment, and I will respond to all your comments. So with that being said, peace and chicken grease, everyone. We'll see you later.